Everything you're seeing right now is running with no internet. No sign-in, no account, nothing leaving this machine. The model, the server, all of it is sitting on this little pen drive right here. Let me ask it something. And there it goes. It thinks for a second and it answers. That's a real language model running off a USB stick on a laptop that's fully offline. So today, I'm going to show you exactly how to build this. Two pieces make this work. The first is llamafile. It's an open source project from Mozilla AI, and the trick is that it's a single executable file. No Python, no installer, no dependencies, nothing touching your registry. You double-click it and it runs. The second is the model itself, in a format called GGUF. Think of it as the brain in one file. In this case, I'm using a fine-tuned Qwen 3 4 billion parameter thinking model, quantized down to about 2.5 gigs. Put both on a pen drive, add a tiny launcher script, and you've got an AI you can carry in your pocket. The obvious one is privacy. When you type into a local model, that text goes to your own processor and stays there. It doesn't hit a server, it isn't logged anywhere, and it isn't sitting in someone's training pipeline. If you're working with client notes, medical stuff, financial documents, anything you'd rather not upload, that difference is the whole point. Then there's the offline part. Planes, sites with no signal, labs where the machines aren't allowed on the network. The model doesn't care. It never needed a connection. And the bigger picture here is Edge AI, running models on the device instead of in a data center. Phones, laptops, little industrial boxes, hardware that's too locked down or too disconnected to call out to the cloud. A pen drive setup is a small, cheap version of that same idea, and it's a good way to get a feel for it. A pen drive with at least 8 gigs free, mine's 16, USB 3.0 if you can, and I'll explain why in a minute. A Windows machine with about 4 gigs of free RAM, because the model has to load into memory to run. And internet once, for the 2 downloads. After that, you're done with it. Quick note, if you've got an external SSD lying around, use that instead. Same steps, noticeably better experience. Plug it in. Everything you need to follow is in the article linked in the description, including the prompts. Open the article and follow along. Right-click, hit Format, and pick exFAT. 2 things here. Formatting wipes the drive, so pull anything off it you want to keep. And exFAT matters because the older FAT32 format caps files at 4 gigs, which will bite you the moment you try a larger model. Head to the llamafile GitHub, go to Releases, open the Assets section, and download the main llamafile binary. Version 0.10.5 is what I'm on. Copy it onto the pen drive. Now, this next bit trips people up. Windows won't run the file until it has the right extension. So turn on file name extensions in your View menu, rename the file, and add .exe at the end. Windows will warn you the file might become unusable. Say yes, that's supposed to happen. The model link is in the article, and I'd use that rather than searching, because model names are easy to typo. Open the Files tab and download the GGUF. It's 2.5 gigs, so give it a minute. Then copy it onto the pen drive, right next to the llamafile executable. Same folder, both files. Right-click, New, Text Document. Inside, you're writing 4 lines that tell Windows which program to run and which model to hand it. The exact text is in the article, so you can copy it straight across. Save it, then rename it from .txt to .bat. Say yes to the warning again. One line in there does something worth knowing about. It tells the script to run from whatever folder it's sitting in. Pen drives get a different drive letter on every computer, so without that line, this thing works on your laptop and breaks on your friends. Double-click the batch file. You'll get a terminal window with a bunch of loading text. Give it a moment, especially the first time, because it's pulling 2.5 gigs off USB. When it's ready, you'll see an address, 127.0.0.1, port 8080. Control-click it, or paste it into your browser. And there's your chat window. Leave that terminal open. Close it, and the server dies. I want to be straight with you about what this is. This is not going to beat the big cloud models. It's a 4 billion parameter model running on your CPU off a USB stick. It's genuinely useful for summarizing, drafting, reasoning through a problem, answering questions. It is not a frontier model, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. Speed depends almost entirely on your drive. USB 3.0 gives you something usable. On 2.0, expect to wait. If it feels painfully slow, copy the model file to your internal drive and point the script at that instead. Everything else stays portable. And like any model, it can be confidently wrong. Check anything that matters. That's the build. One executable, one model file, one batch script, and you've got an AI that runs anywhere you can find a USB port. Every link and the full text of that batch file is in the article linked below, so don't bother pausing and squinting at your screen. Just go copy it. If you build this, tell me in the comments what model you went with. I'm curious what people pick. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.